Hi, and welcome to the Child Care Aware Minnesota Legislative Update for action through Friday, January 31st. The main word for last week's legislative session, I would say, was confusion. Starting on Monday, when there was a memo released by the Federal Office of Management and Budget, which effectively froze all federal grants and loans. And what that initially looked like and meant is a lot of fear for all states. But here in Minnesota, we have over $1.8 billion in federal money that goes to support any number of programs. For our purposes of childcare and early childhood, that includes the Child Care and Development Block Grant, which funds the Child Care Assistance Program, so all the funding that families receive, as well as infrastructure support such as training, grants, scholarships, etc. It funds Head Start, which those are payments directly to the Head Start programs from the federal government, and many other programs, including the Preschool Development Grant. So pieces that are very important to our state and understandably caused a lot of fear and frustration. There was a court case immediately filed on Tuesday, and a judge did put a stay on that order, and now that memo has been rescinded. So still some lack of clarity about what it's going to mean or whether that's still going to be a case-by-case basis, but understandably that has also meant that the February forecast, which I had mentioned in our last update, which generally is the first time we get a good glimpse of what's coming for the state budget, has been pushed back. So we are unlikely to see a forecast until closer to March at this point. In the legislature, on the Senate side, we'll start with the Senate again. I mentioned that there was a special election last Tuesday, and that was successfully won by Doran Clark, who is a Democrat. So we now have a majority of Democrats in the Senate. It is unclear what that will mean to the power sharing agreement that has been in place since the beginning of session. Ostensibly, it would take it away because we now have a one-seat majority in that body, but there's a great deal of interest from the Republican side to maintain that power sharing agreement. So more will likely be clear this coming week. On the House side, we continue to see an impasse. Since the court case, the Supreme Court ruling a week ago, basically saying that there needed to be 68 members present to convene. Republicans continue to be there, and they are at 67. So there is not an opportunity to convene the House, and it adjourns each day. That also has meant that there have been no committee meetings all week, and any bills that were introduced because of the court case ruling have now been removed, both from the legislative website, and we have in turn removed those from our bill tracker because since January 14th, any action that was taken, since there was not a legal quorum, was considered not valid. So we fully anticipate that those bills will get reintroduced once the House is finally back in session. What we don't know is when that will happen. And negotiations continue behind the scenes, but no action this week. Finally, in the Senate, committee hearings now, there has really only been one committee hearing that is pertinent to our issues, and that is in the Senate Health and Human Services Committee. The Senate did review the governor's budget proposal. The Department of Children, Youth, and Families came and gave a presentation on the governor's proposal. Other than questions and answers, there was no action taken. As I've mentioned before, generally we will see the Senate's own proposals for the budget once the budget forecast has been released. So to sum it up, not a lot of hard specific answers to give you this week, I'm afraid. And there are no bill hearings right now in the coming week scheduled in the Senate that I can see that impact us. But of course, I will let you know by our next week's update what has taken place. And we will hope to have more clarity and more information to share at that time. So in the meantime, thanks for joining us, and continue to keep an eye on our website for any other updates. Thank you very much.